How much will healthcare cost you in retirement? That's what I looked at in the podcast this week. I broke down every single day in the 1-minute retirement tip, different aspects of healthcare costs in retirement, what you can expect to pay, how Medicare works, and how Medicare helps pay for some of these, but not all. And then I talked about how you can pay for healthcare costs in retirement today. So in today's video, I just want to recap to help you kind of understand what the heck you're gonna pay for healthcare costs in retirement. So let's get to it. Hi there, my name's Ashley Micciche. I'm the CEO of True North Retirement Advisors, where we specialize in the unique retirement planning and exit planning needs of business owners. So I'll link to the podcast below. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and also tune into the 1-minute retirement tip and subscribe there as well. Okay, so let's get into how much will healthcare cost in retirement. So first of all, we have to lay the groundwork. Like, what is healthcare actually going to cost you in retirement? For the average couple who's 65 today and just retired, they can expect to pay $285,000 for healthcare costs in retirement. If you're single, it's more in the $135,000 to $150,000, depending on if you're male or female. This is something that I find that a lot of my clients don't have a good understanding of what their out-of-pocket costs are actually going to be, and then B, healthcare costs are going up substantially. So not only are you paying more for these things just because you have more health issues than you had when you were younger, but you're paying more because costs of healthcare are rising at a faster pace than other types of costs. The key is A, to understand it, but also when you do budget for your healthcare costs, it's not a good idea to just kind of lump it in your other spending. Budget for healthcare costs separately than your other spending in retirement, primarily because it's something that gets a lot more expensive as time goes on, and it's a good idea to understand what your healthcare costs and what your estimated out-of-pocket costs are going to be in those early years of retirement, so you can budget for that appropriately. Okay, so once we kind of laid the groundwork, I talked about Medicare. One of the common misconceptions that a lot of people have about Medicare is that they think it's free. Medicare is definitely not free. You have to meet annual deductibles, you pay monthly premiums, you have co-pays, and then on top of that, there's all these out-of-pocket expenses that you have to pay for too. If you want a more in-depth explanation of the various plans and what they offer, I did cover that in the podcast this week, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so then after we talked about what healthcare is going to cost and Medicare and helping you better understand what Medicare is going to cost, I talked about the best way to pay for healthcare costs in retirement, and that is with a health savings account. Now, just like Medicare, there's a lot of misinformation. People think you have to use it or lose it. That's a FSA, but an HSA is very different. You can actually pay for healthcare costs in retirement today if you're still working. Now, the beauty of the health savings account is that the money goes in and you get a tax deduction. So you get a tax benefit on the front end, the money grows tax-free, and then later on, you don't pay taxes when you take the money out. So these are the holy grail of retirement savings accounts. No other retirement plan, investment account can match it. And when you put money in an HSA, you can invest in stocks and bonds and things just like you would in a Roth or a different investment account. So that money can grow. The best time to do it is you need to start doing it like 5, 10, 15 years out from retirement, so you can begin to build up that money in the HSA so that when you do need it for healthcare costs in retirement, you have a nice pot there to pull from. And then lastly, long-term care. You could end up paying as much as $500,000 for healthcare costs in retirement, but that varies. That's sort of worst case scenario. So it's definitely something to plan for. And there are a couple ways that you can do this. One is you can self-fund. This works really well for people who either have no assets, and Medicaid will kick in pretty quickly and cover a lot of those long-term care costs. Or if you have millions and millions of dollars and long-term care costs aren't going to wipe you out. So those are a couple of scenarios where it doesn't really make sense to buy long-term care insurance. You could self fund for long-term care. Many of you watching this video and many Americans fall in the middle. If you don't want to wipe out your wealth, especially if you have a spouse that's gonna survive you, you definitely want to think about buying long-term care. Okay, so hopefully after watching this video, you have a little bit of an understanding of what healthcare costs are going to be in retirement, how Medicare works and how Medicare covers part of it, but it's not free, and then how you can pay for healthcare costs now through saving in an HSA and through looking at long-term care insurance if it makes sense for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and be sure to check out my podcast, The 1 Minute Retirement Tip, where I talk about daily quick tips to help you on your path to retirement. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Micciche, and I hope you have a blessed day.